This episode of How to Kill an Hour is brought to you by Adobe Stock. It's a service that provides creatives all over the world access to high-end stock images and video for your creative projects, saving you hours of time looking for that perfect bit of visual content, and more importantly, allowing you to spend more time doing what you do best, and that is creating. Couldn't get any better than that, right? Wrong. To celebrate its 5-year anniversary, they've announced the launch of Adobe Stock Audio, an exciting integration between Adobe Stock and Adobe's video editing program, Premiere Pro, that enables you to access over 30,000 audio tracks without having to leave your video editing software. Sick, bro. No scrolling through tab after tab on the internet, signing up to other music libraries, trying to read the small print to find out what kind of license you need for your project. Nope, forget all that. All of it can be done inside the Premiere Pro software, so it's saving you time and letting you get on with what you need to do best. Create that awesome content. And to prove just how good it is, Adobe teamed up with 13 talented filmmakers from all over the world and challenged them to produce a film in under 5 days with unlimited access to Adobe Stock images, video, and audio. Keep listening to the show to find out how things went down.
Are you serious?
Hello, this is How to Kill an Hour. I'm Marcus Bronzy. Today I'm joined by fellow hosts Nick Bright and Dev. How you doing, man?
Zoop, how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, hope you're good.
I'm good, thanks, Dev. I'm really getting annoyed straight away because your camera isn't dead center on Zoom. I'm picking up all these Zoomisms. Do you know what? I'm finding I never used to be that guy. I used to be so easygoing, yeah. But then now in Zoom meetings, things.
I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be slightly off center, like my quirky personality.
I'm being edgy.
And both of you are annoying me because. Why? Well, because since the lockdown restrictions have eased about going to the barbershop, okay, a couple of weeks ago, you would have got a blight, right? But Marcus, you look like you're starring in a reboot of some blaxploitation film. Like, Marcus looks like, you know, in those blaxploitation cop films, like the angry chief of police. Like, I want your badge and your gun right now.
He actually does.
Nick, so I'm going to be like, the commissioner said that you spent $300,000 destroying this city for how many arrests? No arrests, goddammit! Give me your badge! Get out of here!
I mean, that was uncanny.
Yeah, that's really good. You look like your own dad. Does that make sense? With the beard and hair combo, you look like your own dad. Like you've time warped here from the 80s, man. And Nick is like, I'm getting European 90s European football vibes.
That's where I'm going with this. With none of the money, you know. That's what I'm aiming for. You know,
free agent.
What I'm going to start doing is I'm just going to start telling people that I had a knee injury and didn't quite make it. You know, the usual story. I don't know how many times that story's been. Yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly, man, I was signed with Man United, but I got a knee injury. That knee injury, man, it's a killer.
I just want to watch them play football, do their thing. I don't need them to break down what they did during the match, because if I've never listened to a football player tell me about how they've scored or equalized or whatever and thought, wow, it's always so matter of fact. Tell us, you guys were 1-0 down at half time. How did you manage to come back and win the game? We put our heads down and decided we needed to graft, and we managed to get one back, which is good, and then managed to get another one, which is also good. Brought the score to 2-1. Which meant we could walk away from the victory. So, thanks so much for that wonderful fucking insight. I feel I'm an expert now. Wow, what a great mind.
Are you in a bad mood today, Dev?
I'm a little bit. I've noticed even
all I did was ask you to move your camera.
I know.
Open
10 minutes
Pandora's
later.
box.
I've missed this. I've missed.
Now he's just frozen. He's literally just frozen in the funniest position. Oh my days!
Screenshot.
Did you get a screenshot of it?
No, I'm getting this one though.
He just keeps freezing.
Why?
Dev keeps freezing in the maddest positions.
I love this. If anyone ever zooms me and then they freeze in a mad position, I'm so quick on the screenshot. You got to get it. Oh, he's back now.
You're back. You're back in the game.
It says my internet connection is unstable.
Yeah, a bit like your life.
Yeah, my life.
This sums up your attitude right now.
You're back now, though. It's cool. Tabs. Don't worry.
I'm closing tabs. I thought of someone else that you look like as well.
Who, me?
No, Marcus.
Oh.
Hang on.
You know when you're like going through your mum's soul record collection and there'll be like people you've heard of, Teddy Pendergrass and the Temptations, and then there'll be some random dude like called Randy Smith or so. You go, who the fuck is this? And he'll be posing on the front album. Maybe he's laying down, he's got a shirt open with a few buttons, and like the album's called something like, you know, Lay With Me, Baby, or something like that. Like that's, you look like a 70s soul singer that no one's ever heard of before.
Had that one hit. Smashed it though with the one hit.
Yeah, the one hit. Lay with my baby. It's a complete rip-off of like another already existing song. Lay with my baby.
Dev is absolutely bananas, mate.
This is the first podcast back since the podcast, British Podcast Awards. We should be congratulating Brother Marcus on a bronze best interview. Now you're truly Marcus Bronzy.
Yeah, there you go.
Winning bronze.
So like I should have named myself Marcus Goldie, and then that would have elevated us in the awards ceremony there.
No,
yeah,
but
man,
that's a look. We need to big that up. That is a huge look. Did you celebrate that night? The night you found out? What were you doing?
Ready, steady,
I
pop.
I awarded myself a hangover, mate. I awarded myself a gold hangover, mate. I was at a few.
Well, you should know. It should have been bronze, but no, you're right. You're right. You should be celebrating.
Yeah, I awarded myself a bit of bubbly and a couple of drinks, and then just played Warzone, if I'm honest with you, mate. Yeah. But yeah, no, to be honest, thank you very much, guys, for being part of the journey, man. We at How to Kill It Now, we're making moves out here, bruv. Yeah. Independent, black-owned podcast, 2020, in award ceremonies, punching with the big people. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Are you going to get your award around a chain, all right, and wear it to all the meetings you have in future, okay? So this is the idea. You wear your bronze... wear the bronze award every meeting you have in the future of any corporations, and you come in, oh, we want to work with you. You're like, sort of walk into the meeting with the award like around the medallion. Anytime there's a decision you don't like or a question that gets raised or you're a bit funny, bear in mind, you'll also just be wearing sunglasses as well. And I'm talking about 2003 stunner shades, like the ridiculously oversized some. Every time someone goes to ask you something, bro, you don't answer the question. You just say yes or no. You just point down at the award. Just like...
channeling big Flavor Flav energy.
So, Marcus, we were thinking that maybe we could...
that looks like something else from here. I'm not going to lie.
Imagine someone seeing that from behind, you just doing that in the meeting room. Oh, that's... And they're nodding. They're nodding back. They're agreeing. Interesting.
That's a look, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, thanks very much, man. I think, man, like all joking aside, we've done really, really well. Indies up there working with some of the biggest networks out there in the UK and world, man. So yeah, we're all part of that, man. Congratulations, gang. I'll give you a round of applause as well. Thank you. Have you got out of your system now, Dev? Are you feeling better now?
Let the Rage Phoenix come out.
That's all good.
Just gotta...
How about you, Nick? How you been doing, bruv?
Listen, Dev has gone on for quite a while. I don't know how long we are into this podcast, but it's therapy for Dev. I'll answer your question, Marcus. I've been fine. Let's get on with the show.
So like I said at the top of the show, Adobe asked 13 talented filmmakers from around the world to produce a film entirely without the use of cameras, and they had to do it within 5 days with unlimited access to Adobe stock images, video, and obviously the Adobe stock audio, which is brand new. So to show the world that creativity never stops regardless of circumstance, they put on the Adobe Stock Festival. So we'll talk about how dope their content was in just a sec, but the first few things that I wanted to talk through with you guys, and that is exactly what Adobe audio stock is like. So any questions so far?
Tell me where the audio comes from.
So with Adobe stock audio, did you guys know what stock stuff is when you have stock content online? By the way,
like stock photo, like stock footage. It's basically stuff that's readily available for you to get online.
And is it license free? Is it necessarily, or?
Do you know what? That's a really, really good question, because a lot of creators didn't. And you know, I know a lot of creators now that don't know where they stand with regards to licensing when they take audio from different places. So what's useful, and what was always something that I think we've always thought is useful as creators, is knowing what you're getting for your money when it comes to using stock content. So when Adobe said in 2015, hey, we're launching Adobe Stock, here's a resource, a library of images that you can use, that could put a graphic designer at ease who goes, right, I need to create some content and have some images. And I need to know that I'm getting them from a place where I know exactly how I can use this image. Can I use it in a commercial capacity? Can I use it in whatever capacity? And you know exactly how much you're paying for it. And you know it's coming from a trusted source, Adobe. So they launched that with seamless integration inside Premiere Pro. And 5 years later, on their 5th year birthday of Adobe Stock, they launched Adobe Stock Audio, which ties in with Premiere Pro and also collaborates with two amazing sound agencies, Epidemic Sound and Jamendo. Now, I've used Epidemic Sound before to create narrative content for podcasts. I like the way that its library is full of songs that you can search through and kind of they've got moods to them. And when I'm creating narrative content, I want to add a bit of an emotion to something. I like to look and search for songs via mood. And we'll talk about that more in a second. But in Premiere Pro, you can now browse, preview and license Adobe Stock's thousands of non-watermarked audio tracks, millions of expertly created videos and professional grade motion graphic templates from within Premiere Pro, which you don't have to switch applications, which is sick. And also, Epidemic Sound and Jamendo represent thousands of artists who actually are creating content as we speak. The libraries are growing, and that means when there's new genres or moods or cultural influences or trends rising, your library of stock audio is going to reflect that. For example, you wouldn't have had trap there 5 or 6 years ago, maybe because it wasn't as prominent, but now you've got like a trap section within the hip hop section that you can search for audio for. So it's kind of a wide range of genres, moods, cultural influences and trends as well. But you can be in Premiere Pro and go, right, I want some calm music. Let me find a tune actually that I liked. So this is a tune, I think it's called Dinner Time actually. You can find a tune like this and be like, right, this is mellow, this is cool. Hey.
Lay with me, baby.
I was about to say, have they got lay with me, baby? That's what they really need.
Yeah. So yeah, you can find a track like that. Lay with me, baby. And then throw it into your edit and then listen to it and be like, right, that's cool. You can mix it, remix it, freak it, cut it up, chop it up. When you're sure you really like it, you can select within Premiere that I want to license this tune. And then you actually download a high quality version that jumps straight into your edit for you. You haven't got to re-edit it in. So it kind of like saves a lot of time, man. Like, because you can license it directly within the software. And I think for me personally, like, there's loads of different ways that you can get licensed content, like audio, visuals and stills, but to be able to have one hub, one place where you can literally just pull down audio and license it without having to leave your programmer editing, that's kind of stands out to me. So that's how it works.
I don't have that much experience using the Adobe version that you're talking about, but I use something similar when I'm making music. And what you talked about there with workflow, something like this makes it so much easier. You think about, you've edited a scene together, or you're trying to get an idea going, and then you have to spend hours going for music. Is this the right one? Blah, 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 blah. Whereas I love it when someone's had a thought of, oh, let's do all of this hard work so that it, like a few steps down the line, it's super quick and it's super easy. Like you were showing me before we started recording, that little video clip online of somebody using it and how quickly you can just sort of get that right mood for your soundtrack and the video you're editing.
100%. I think workflow is a key word that you use. Like, so whether you're a creative person or you're not, everybody thinks about how to get the job done quicker, and workflow is a really important thing that you think about. You know, how can I make sure that when I'm building something, whether it's a brick wall or some audio design, some sound design, or a video that I'm making for somebody, whatever you're doing, you need to think about how are you going to get the ingredients to put it together, how you're going to mix them together, and how you can kind of make sure that whatever you're using in the right way. In this case, it's licensing. So yeah, to have it all in one place is something that's super important to someone if they want to save time. And I think that's something that I want to talk about in a sec, actually, with regards to like the value from it. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, it's a bit similar to, obviously slightly different, but from a DJ's perspective, you've got like Serato and things like that now where you can use Tidal and different streaming services directly with your Serato. So if you're in a club, you can, if someone requests a tune, I mean, don't get me wrong, requests are annoying sometimes, but if someone requests a tune and it's actually not a crap song, you can literally, if you don't have that, you can go on your record pool and bang, you got it. It's all about workflow and time, and, you know, time is the most important thing, I guess. And I know I don't really use Serato anymore. I use Rekordbox. But when I was using Serato, like the longest thing was sorting out your library, sorting out the tunes and blah, blah, blah. And this is kind of the, I guess the kind of video editing version of this. You know, people don't have to source music in different places now, because that can be quite long, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The licensing
100%.
thing as well is really big. There's like nothing worse than, I know if I'm making music and I find a little vocal sample or a little, just something I like the sound of, and I can't use it. You can't get it cleared, or, this one's a little bit too obvious. Whereas, you know, you can sort of license it within the software in this one, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than finding the perfect tune and then realizing that you can't use it within an edit. It's really, really frustrating, like the perfect tempo, the perfect kind of vibe, the perfect build up. And another thing actually that I didn't actually think of before we recorded, but Dev kind of reminded me, Nick, when we were having a little chat before we press record.
It was about you.
He was talking. It wasn't about it. Yeah. It was basically talking about how you were moving a big bit of storage, like from one of your computers to another. Or you were having some problem clearing storage off your computer, right? Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, to like back it all up and then start deleting stuff.
So what's cool with this is like you've got the cloud that you're accessing these low quality versions of the tunes from, like low small file sizes. If you don't decide to use them, you're not filling up your computer with junk.
Yeah.
If you do want to use them, guess what? You pull down a high quality version. And furthermore, I feel like if you need to re-access something, you don't feel like you have to have this massive library of video content, audio, still images that sits with you. You can trust that the content's going to be up there on Adobe stock. So for me to have a cloud worth of resources that I can draw for at any time, that's important for me, because another thing that I'm getting concerned about with storage is not whether I can keep a lot of content on a hard drive, because hard drives are getting massive. The big worry for me is if that cup of coffee spills into my hard drive, or if I drop my laptop, or if God forbid I lose my laptop, how do I get everything back? And I think the cloud is kind of a solution that we've been speaking about over the years and stuff. And maybe it's not about backing all our stuff up to the cloud. Maybe it's about having the resources on the cloud in the first place so we can draw for them whenever we need them. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a little bit daunting at first. I remember like the concept of even having an iTunes or a Spotify account or something seems so weird if you've been used to buying physical copies of music. And what Nick was talking about earlier with Serato and Rekordbox, I was so reluctant to go over to that stuff. I was like, no, man, I play off records, man. And then you do it and you're like, this is so fucking easy. Like, this makes my life so much easier. I don't miss carrying record boxes through crowds of people smashing against their shins. Like, sorry. Yeah, and this is way better.
Yeah, you had to rip "Lay With Me," though, didn't you? Because that was on record. You didn't quite have that on MP3.
I'll cut you a dub plate, man. This one goes out to Nick Braid.
I'd play it, to be fair. Stick my name in it, guaranteed, mate.
But are you sure? But if you play that to your lady friend and that becomes the song that you got together to, that means I'm part of your relationship forever now. You know that.
Do you have a playlist? Do you have a playlist for, you know?
Nah, I find it a bit,
what about your own podcast?
Like, this is music you're on about.
Your own podcast,
yeah. I just got on BBC Sounds and listened to my show, Dev.
Yeah.
Bang it on.
Laugh at your own jokes. That was good. What a zinger.
Listen, mate.
Here's another zinger. You're going to miss it.
And then what? On your way out the door, you go, if you want to enjoy that again, 30 days, you can listen back to that anytime.
Please like and subscribe and maybe share with your friends. Right. Listen, mate, in today's climate, you know what I mean? You got to use what you got.
Yeah.
So, I suppose to tie this all up, how did they use all of this to basically show that this could all kick ass? And they used it to make some standout content for Adobe Stock Film Fest. So like I said at the top of the show, to celebrate the launch of Adobe Stock Audio, they teamed up with a bunch of filmmakers from over the world and said to them, yo, make a film in under 5 days and only use our stock footage. They basically had to make content using no pre-shot footage of their own, only stock footage and audio from Adobe stock footage, pretty much making a remix. Do you know what I mean? There was loads of great content out there. I sent a few videos around, including one from Vivek Vadolia. Sorry if I've messed up your name there. They created a short called The Portal, and the film takes a deep dive into the imaginary journey and explores themes of control, fear, and rebalance through poetic Adobe stock imagery. Now, basically, we are a podcast, an audio podcast. So if we try to describe the video, I think that would be a bit of a challenge to describe it frame for frame. So can we just talk through, Nick, like why, like first, did it look and sound like something, if like when you played it to you, would you think that it's something that's stock footage? Like, did it look like something that's pieced together?
I would never have known, like, honestly, just because, you know, I'm not a video editor myself. So, you know, I can't speak on behalf of somebody who really, really knows their stuff. But as somebody who watches a lot of videos, I just saw it and just thought, you know, that it was something that was put together by somebody. I wouldn't have been able to watch it and be like, that person didn't shoot any of that footage. You know, that they've just got that off of the internet. Like, I mean, if you do know that, I'm not going to lie, you're quite sad. If you know every single piece.
I recognise that shot of a pile of leaves.
So, I mean, if you do know that, it's probably time for you to come off the internet. Yeah, get out, meet your friends. But no, it looked really, really good though. Like in all seriousness, for the purpose that it's meant for, I think it's a potential game changer, really. Because if even if you don't use 100% stock footage, if you're somebody that's been out, you've shot a load of stuff, but then you realised you've missed something that you need for the edit. You know, I don't know what it could be. Like you said, Marcus was talking about flowers earlier. You know, you could have missed a shot of some, I don't know, pansies or something. You can just go on there and get it, and you've got it. You know what I mean? Whereas before it would have been a big palaver, like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Exactly. And Dev, do you think it actually matters that it's not shot by the person, that it's stock footage and that it's stock audio?
No, I don't think that's taking away anything from the creative process. You know, if I was going to use the music analogy, I use tons of samples and, you know, drum sounds or whatever. And I know that I'm going to use them in a way that's going to be completely different from another producer. And also, I think if I was new to film editing, the whole soundtracking thing would be a massive thing that would put me off, especially if I didn't know that much about music or didn't know what kind of sounds I was after. I think we take a lot for granted working in that field. You might say to somebody, oh, you need a bit of like dark sounding music here. They might not necessarily know what that is. And, you know, we all know that music is such a huge part of film. And to be able to just type it into the session that you're working on, oh, dark music, or oh, let me find a sort of like lo-fi hip hop beat or whatever, to just be able to find it just like that, it's like sort of cut out so much of the hard work.
Yeah, like how important is it for you as a creator to be able to get, I know like you produce music, so the kind of samples that you get different. How important is it for you to have like high quality content when it comes to grabbing samples? How much is quality and important to you?
So that's a really good point. And I use something that's similar to this Adobe thing. It's this program I use where you can search a bunch of really high quality sounds. And there's some genres, say for example, if I'm trying to make a disco type beat, you can't really use MIDI strings and trumpets and that, because it doesn't give it that authentic sound. People hear it and go, oh, it sounds like a Casio keyboard. And so access to those high quality sounds immediately elevates your production or your short film or whatever it is you're doing into that stratosphere of, if people hear it and kind of go, they associate that with having high production values because it sounds legit, it sounds professional, it doesn't sound like you just knocked it up, you know, on GarageBand in a couple of seconds.
You know, that's a good point. Like, do you know what? There's a meme on the internet that showed how powerful good music is when you're creating video. Have you ever seen that Jurassic Park clip where they're looking at the dinosaurs and then there's a guy that's playing a harmonica really badly?
Or when they re-edit Mrs. Doubtfire to look like a horror film or something like that.
Yeah.
You change the music and then immediately, or if you've ever, and I did this in film studies in college. We would watch scenes from famous horror films without any soundtrack. It would just be the footsteps, and all of a sudden you're like, why am I scared? This is like, music is everything with visual media.
It's so true.
Man.
Like, it's like when you go to the cinema, you know what it's like. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been to the cinema, to be honest, with what's going on in the world. But like, when you're in a cinema and it's like, a scary bit is coming up because the music starts to get all tense and that. Start shitting yourself, start looking around like, am I going to get murdered in here? Basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So long story short, high quality audio is the one for us, man. I mean, and to wrap this all up really personally, it's like time's the most valuable commodity for me. So anything that can help me do stuff quicker, I am game for. Like there are people that really want you to respect how things work ground up. And I get that, but I don't necessarily want to have to build every single part of when I'm being creative. I want the maximum amount of time, and I want I don't want to have to make the brick as well as building the brick wall. Do you know what I mean? I just want to, I want to get the bricks, get the cement, and slap it all together. So yeah, man. Long story short, Adobe stock audio and how it works with the Premiere Pro workflow and how it kind of will work with the rest of the Adobe Creative Suite is a really good look, especially in this remote world. I found a couple of tunes that I really like off this though. Here's where I got a couple hip hop beats. Let me know what you think of these though. Still, this one's called Hip Hop Instrumental by Mitt Rich. I feel like drones could fly to this.
I'm waiting for Dev to spit a 16.
I'm waiting for Ghostface to come in like, man, I'm on Staten Island. Man, I'm on Staten Island.
So there's that. Obviously, I played you that dinner. Wow. It does, doesn't it? Played you that Dinner Plans tune as well, which I like, man. I think that could sit under an ad pretty tastily. And also, I found a trap beat as well. So yeah, they've got like a really good vibe in here, like a really good mixture. This one dropped. Let's hear the 808 slide.
I'm back and
yeah, man. And what's good about the searching as well? I will leave you with this as well. I think I searched mood, so I just searched like chill, or I just searched like vibe, or I searched like happy or inspirational, and you can get kind of rhythms like that as well. So yeah, man. I mean, look. I think this kind of stuff is the future of being creative. The future of being creative indeed. So it's pretty obvious right now that this episode of How to Kill an Hour is brought to you by Adobe Stock, the service that provides creatives all over the world with access to high-end stock images, video, and now audio. If there's one thing I hate, it's trawling around the net looking for good quality instrumentals. You got to sign up to each site, log in, read the small print to make sure you're not breaching anyone's copyright or licensing when you're using the actual track. I mean, I just want a good tune to put in the edit. So it's refreshing to know that there's a pool of high quality audio that I can search through when using Adobe Stock Audio. Remember that track called Dinner Plans that I said, would be good in an ad? Well, here it is, sitting right under this ad. Meta or what? It literally took a few clips to drop it into the edit, license it, and away I could go. For all of your stock image, video, and audio needs all in one place, save yourself a bunch of time searching so you can have more time being creative with Adobe Stock. Right, what is going on in the world of tech and such? Bright, I think you might be able to speak up about this. Twitch are talking about streaming radio and also premiership matches, more sports and stuff. So this website that was originally designed to stream computer games is talking about streaming live events.
I love it how you call it premiership still, like we're back in the 90s.
What are you supposed to call it?
It's Premier League. It's been Premier League for so long. It's so fun because I work at 5 Live as well. I do one extra, but I also do Radio 5 Live. And whenever they get kind of like older callers on, they still call it the Premiership. They're like, I remember when we were in the Premiership. It's like, it's been called the Premier League since like, I think it might have only been the Premiership for the first couple of seasons. It's been the Premier League.
I'm getting older with my hair.
That's what I mean. Yeah. The Premiership.
Oh man, am I going to start drinking Earl Grey?
Pop down to the shops and get me a marathon bar, would you?
He's got some Werther's Original in his pocket.
Do you still call Sif Jif? Opal fruits.
Opal fruits. Classic. Right, anyway, to answer your question, I don't know the complete ins and outs of what the plans for Twitch are, but I can tell you that my involvement, the small piece of involvement that I've got, is that, you know, I do basically the digital shows for Arsenal. So on Arsenal.com, when Arsenal are having a match, I present the shows and stuff like that.
Do you ever get to hang out with Troops?
He does. So Troops does Arsenal Fan TV, which is a different thing, not affiliated with Arsenal at all. And Arsenal are very kind of like over the top to make sure there is no affiliation with AFTV.
They did.
But I do, I've met Troops quite a few times, and we obviously follow each other on social media. That's the way of the world now. He's a cool guy. I always like to say wherever I do stuff, I've got zero problem with AFTV. I think what they're doing is cool, and they're just fans. And now Robbie's absolutely smashing it. Driving mad cars and going on crazy holidays. Yeah. I also love the fact
it would be nice if our team won, though, innit? Like instead of that, though, innit?
That would be good. But anyway, just to get back onto the point, because I don't want to get bogged down in Arsenal chat because we are rubbish. Basically, they're doing a launch for Twitch Sport. That's happening tomorrow. I think it's hosted by Jimmy Conrad, who is an American football. When I say American football player, I mean he's a soccer player from America, not that he's an NFL player. Just to add a layer of confusion to what's going on. He's hosting the whole thing. And then kind of all the big sports teams and outlets that are involved with Twitch or who want to do stuff on Twitch, they're getting like a slot. So like NBA are on before Arsenal, and I'm hosting the Arsenal stream tomorrow. So it should be a lot of fun. It's kind of mad because, like you said, they're basically a platform that was created for people just to sit there and play video games and for people to watch. And now they're venturing into all sorts of things. In fact, I think me and Dev and Julia Hardy had a Twitch channel that we were gonna launch and then never launched it.
Well, it's a lot of work in it, and it just seems like quite a natural progression for Twitch. So I've been obsessed with it since it launched. I don't have like as much time as I want to play computer games, and there's some that I just can't get into. So it's actually quite fun to watch somebody play at a really high level. And I know it's two different types of personalities that do well on Twitch. Is either somebody who's really good at a game or somebody who's really fun and entertaining and engaging. Like someone like Limmy, for example, is like really funny to watch him stream. And I know that Twitch streamers they'll set up parties where they talk to each other. And then there was, when you log into Twitch, it will give you a list of what everybody's watching and what's up at the top. And I've noticed over the last year, what's been climbing up and up and up is the channel called, I think it's just called Let's Chat. So you're just watching people having it like we are right now. And what's been really interesting is the way that podcasts have developed alongside that. People are so used to that format now. Maybe 10 years ago, saying to somebody, oh, do you want to watch 4 people in a room having a chat about something, or even, by a Zoom call or whatever, people wouldn't have been interested. But we're so used to now with the format of listening to people talk 45 minutes, an hour, a couple of hours even sometimes. And also learning so much about those personalities, and radio is always going to have that really intimate feel to it. And then on top of that, if you can also watch the people and message them and interact, I think it's like a really interesting move for Twitch to back the radio side of things.
Yeah, that's why that's why Arsenal, and I can only really speak for Arsenal because they're the guys that I know. That's why they're excited to get involved with it, because it's like they can do shows, essentially, like long format shows, chat shows about Arsenal. And because most of the people on Twitch are used to watching long format video, not like YouTube where you're always told, oh, it's got to be quick, otherwise you're fucked. Twitch is like people are coming to sit down, hunker in and watch this content. So it's an interesting space, and I'm very interested to see kind of what people do in the experiments, going forward, and what actually works.
Yeah, it's an interesting space. And it's like, because it's established for a few years, Twitch in some ways has really been built for the current world climate. I've been looking at, and this is not slighting any of the big channels out there or the big network providers, but when we first went into lockdown, people that had to do calls from home were not really well lit. They had like quite boring backgrounds. And then when you look at the quality of what Twitch streamers have, standard level, like not like the highest of the high, but like a standard level of Twitch streamer, they've got overlays, they've got special effects, they've got sound effects, they've got, you know, all this high level of production quality that they can actually manage themselves. And I was there thinking, you know, if there was a wealth of Twitch streamers that had the knowledge that was needed for news and stuff with that kind of skill set, then I feel like we could be having quality of TV, for want of a better set of words, that is kind of not that far away from what we had pre-lockdown. I mean, there's some great streamers out there. There's Inel Tomlinson, who's a comedian and friend of the show as well. If you look at his setup, it is in a room, and it is where he's kind of putting together some content himself. But boy, it looks absolutely dope, man. Like, it looks really, really good. It looks kind of studio-esque. Do you know what I mean?
A bit like your realistic studio behind you at the moment, yeah.
Well, this little thing. This
Marcus, can you just go and grab me something off of that desk behind you?
Yeah, cool. What do you want?
Just get me that microphone, actually. Just swing that microphone arm, but the one behind you.
Oh.
It's jarring me a bit.
1 sec, I'll just move this one out of the way.
Yeah.
I'll get the other one.
Actually, can you get me that chair? Can you get me the cushion off that chair?
Yeah, sure. 1 sec.
It's still there. I could see the chair behind you with the cushion on it still.
Oh, there's so many in here. I didn't realise. Sorry, mate. My bad.
So childish.
It's weird because aren't you in the studio?
No, I'm not. Otherwise, I wouldn't do that.
All right, okay.
I'm not in the
That's why I
studio.
was like, what's the point?
What is this? Some kind of Inception? Dev's like, aren't you in the studio? In the studio.
Blowing my mind, man.
No, I just when we started doing these, I was like, you know what? Can I have a boring background, or should I put the studio behind me? And what's interesting is the people that have hit me up going, "Nice studio, mate. Can I come and have a look around it?" I was like, you know, that's
mad.
You know, it's not real. And they're like, really? I'm like, oh, you know what? So when people ask me now, I don't bother. I just tell them, yeah, come and have a look at the studio when it's all
it doesn't,
suitable.
Me and Marcus had this conversation the other day, but it doesn't work for me because I've got fluffy hair and I don't have a green screen. So when I try and do it, like, I'll put Carol Baskin on for you.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you see,
how do you do that? How do we change our backgrounds?
You see by the video, there's a little...
Sorry, this is going to be really boring for people.
Stop video, there's a little arrow that points up. You see that?
Yeah.
No.
Yes or no? Down the bottom. Look at Marcus now. He's on a train.
Oh, what the fuck, man? I want one.
Can you see the boy?
I was doing.
You see where it says mute, and then stop video. There's a little arrow. Point on the arrow, and then go choose virtual
background.
And then there's some stock ones like that. You can have that if you want.
Nick Bright's now got space behind him. He looks like he's flying in space.
Bullshit! I've got to download them.
You know what? While Dev's doing that, I'm going to tell you about a little hack that I did the other day at a Zoom party. I was just I started screen recording other people's screens at a Zoom party for a birthday, and then started putting their screens behind me.
Yeah.
So people there looking at themselves. Oh, Dev now was well pleased with himself.
I'm at the beach.
Background on Zoom.
It's a bit choppy. I like it.
What else can I get? All right, hang on.
Oh, the Northern Lights.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Feel free to jump forward 30 seconds a couple of times.
Boring for people listening, guys. Oh, look at mine.
No,
look at mine.
They're loving it. They're loving it. This is the content that people are tuning in for, baby.
Long firm content. But you know what? Nick
I love this is a tech podcast, and I've only just worked out you can change the background on Zoom. I've only used it fucking a million times since lockdown.
Oh, man. But what's interesting about streamers, though, is that they're actually some of them. Yeah, oh, Nick Bright's got. Is that you and the gunner? Oh, the gunner's dying.
Me and Gunnosaurus.
Why is the mascot for Arsenal a dinosaur?
Because he's called Gunnosaurus. I don't know the real reason.
No, I get it.
I think that works.
No, it's a sort of clever play on. No, but Gunnosaurus isn't a thing.
Well, it's very hard to take the cannon that represents Arsenal and turn that into like a
you could have Craig the Cannon. You could have Craig the Cannon. This will come out. He'll have like cannonballs for eyes and then a big long snout, and he'll fire it at the crowd.
I can see that looking very wrong if somebody takes a picture at the wrong time of the cannon.
Good, wholesome. That is a bad mascot. A dinosaur.
I think the Gunnosaurus is. Don't diss the Gunnosaurus.
Gunnosaurus.
You're on thin ice here, mate.
Awful.
That is
such a lack of. It's like from a kid's imagination.
That is outrageous.
Anyway, back to Twitch, right? So Jane Whedon, director of new verticals at Twitch.
With a gun. How about that?
No, okay, no, Dev, no, we can't.
Pitch like, whoa!
No, Dev, that's I'll probably work in like Texas or something like that, and not here. Just a guy going pew 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 pew. Anyway, the director of new verticals at Twitch said in a statement that Twitch in recent years has been growing the community for sports fans on the platform. So this Jane Whedon said, basically, Twitch is a place where people come to connect and engage over shared interest, and you'll be hard pressed to find a group of people more passionate than sports fans. So it sounds like what they're really interested in, well, actually, she says, with addition to sports radio, on-air talent and fans will be able to interact and discuss with their favourite athletes, teams and leagues with one another in real time. So it sounds like they really are going for this. This could be the future of sports broadcasting, Nick. This could be, you could be right on the tip of the sword, mate.
Potentially. I mean, you've got Amazon as well, of course, who are going to get more and more. Yeah, the Amazon, Jeff Bezos, bruv, you know, he's got the P's, you know what I mean? So they've obviously had a couple of Premier League games this year. Got the money, bruv. Yeah. He's got a
Why haven't rappers started saying, yeah, I'm like Jeff Bezos? Is it because it's hard to rhyme stuff with Bezos?
What, it's hard or easy?
Is it Bezos? What do you rhyme with Bezos? I don't know. Bezos.
Isn't it Bezos?
Razos? Is it Bezos? No, is it Bezos?
Could you just say Bezos? Jeff?
Big up the radio that plays us. I got more money than Jeff Bezos. You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, I can't really hear it. Turn it up on my headphones. Oh, you keep turning it down, bro. I need the vibes. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Emma. Big up the radio that plays us. More money than Jeff Bezos. I don't let you phase us.
That was it.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got, mate. You know what I mean?
So yeah, sorry, you were saying Prime's doing it as well, yeah?
Yeah, I just think Prime are going to have dough in it, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, and I think they're going to get more and more rights to Premier League games because that's what they want to go after. Be interesting to see what happens with the pricing structure though when that does happen, because obviously Amazon Prime Video, now how much is it now? What is it, like 12, 13 quid or something?
I thought it was $7.99 a month still. I thought that's what it was. So with my Prime delivery.
Well, let's say it's that. I mean, we could be wrong. Fact check it for yourself. But you know, if they get Premier League matches, it will probably go up. But even if it does go up, say if it went up to £15 a month, most people when they have Sky, when they have Sky Sports to watch football, you're paying like 40, 50, 60 quid a month. So, you know, they're in big trouble, mate. And I'm here for it, is all I'm saying, because Sky, you man have had the monopoly too long, charging people too much money, and here we go. You're about to get your comeuppance.
Yeah.
We need healthy competition, though. We need it. We need competition for the consumer. So the more people that are getting in the mix, the better content we're going to get. Do you know what I mean? So that's what we need. Speaking of streaming, Netflix are going to be giving away 83-year subscription to their service. Yep.
What, to one person?
83-year subscription. Yep, to one person.
Such
in fact, if I'm honest,
by the time 83. Why not just for life?
I'll explain why. It's a publicity stunt for The Old Guard, a new film that came out with Charlie. I always say her name right, so I'm going to make sure I say it properly. Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
You may have seen her from Atomic Blonde and a few other cracking films recently, but the new film is The Old Guard, and basically they're offering 1,000 months of subscription, which they're going to call an immortal subscription. All you have to do is play a little get. No, it's not though, is it? But you know, I think 83 years. I mean, I'll take that. Never play for Netflix
also,
again. Netflix is going to be pricey.
Can you give some of your months to someone else? So let's say, for example, I use 20 years of Netflix and then I die. Can I pass that on? Can somebody inherit my months?
Just give them your login, mate. You know, that's what everyone's doing anyway. You know what I mean?
Switch over payment methods when you're on your way out, and then take that Netflix. I would, man.
1,000 months.
83. Yeah.
It seems a bit ridiculous. 1,000. Do you know that there's like that religion that I won't mention because it's just not worth the hassle, but
it's not good to mention religion.
Do you sign a contract and the contract's for 1 million years?
I very much enjoy the fact that you sign a contract to be part of a religion. Before you even finish that sentence, I was like, that's hilarious. Who's the contract with? Is it with... you don't have to say the religion, but I mean, is it with God? Who's the contract with? Who's
It's with Tom Cruise. Partly with Tom Cruise. That's who it's with.
I wonder what religion you're on about.
That's as far as we'll take it. Wait, anyway, so let's move swiftly on.
Dom Cruise, yes, Dominic Cruz, yeah.
Dominic Cruz. That's what I said. CREW, like he's related to Terry Crews, isn't it?
It's his younger brother.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but also, so they're doing that to promote the old garden. It got me looking at Netflix, seeing what's new. And if I'm honest, Netflix is very good at doing lots of little tweaks. We haven't noticed how much Netflix has changed over the years. But one thing that people are getting, and you may have experienced before me, is they've introduced a shuffle button, a randomized button.
I like that.
Now Netflix is using its algorithm to work out what you like, and instead of just suggesting a list of films like you may like this, you can press a button that says shuffle or randomize or watch something. It typically looks different from different people's accounts, and it starts, and you can just not go through the rigmarole of trying to find something.
I like that. It's one of the worst parts of Netflix is flicking through trying to find something, and also the way that they're working out some of these algorithms are brilliant. My YouTube one, for example, I've had an account now for long enough. It knows in the recommended for you bit. It knows, it's like, Dev, do you want to see a compilation of people dying inside? Absolutely. How about a 2-minute compilation of people missing high fives in public? Absolutely. I want to see that. What about football mascots fighting on a field? Yes, I want to see all of that. So it does work you out pretty well.
Do you know what I'm quite into at the moment? And I don't know why. And you know, the problem, I don't even really use Facebook, right? But sometimes I fire it up just to see what my auntie's moaning about or whatever. And I clicked on one video once, right? I literally clicked on one video once of like, epic fails for trucks or something like that. And now all I ever get is like the most epic fails of like trucks and tractors and stuff. I'm like, amazing. What? I watched one video. What is wrong with you guys?
I've said that to people before when they've watched things on my account. A little bit like if your friends keep you waiting for an Uber or something, you're like, you're going to affect the rating, man. Like, come on. I'm equally like that. If someone wants to search for things on my YouTube, I'm like, you're going to fuck up the algorithms, man. Like, be careful. One wrong choice and it's going to be ruined forever.
You can mess with someone's Netflix. There is an old school trick, but you need time on your hands. So this is for you. If you want to play a practical joke on someone that you live with, go on their Netflix account and like watch 10 minutes or 5 minutes of a like kid show or 5 minutes of something that's totally not their taste. And then after a few days, they'll log in and it'll be like, what? Teletubbies?
All kids shows.
Like, I don't... What's going on there,
The next
bro?
thing you know, mate, the police are bursting down the door, taking their computer away from them. You know what I mean? It's all crazy just because you thought it'd be funny to do a Netflix prank. Outrageous.
In this episode of Pranks Gone Wrong, how one student's joke ended up with their friend in jail for 50 years.
I've got a prank as well, but I've never tried it, so I can't claim on its validity or whether it actually works, but I've seen people talking about this. If you've got a friend who loves red wine, right? Next time they come to yours when lockdown isn't as strict or whatever, if you get red food colouring, one of those little bottles of red food colouring, and you put the whole bottle of red food colouring into their red wine, give it to them to drink. When they go for a piss, it comes out red, and they obviously shit their pants. I mean, it's quite a dark joke, but it's funny. You know, if you
please
got cool
report
friends.
back on this. Please report back on this.
Is it safe to drink that much food colouring?
It's just colouring. So as far as I know, I mean, I'm no scientist.
I feel like it's E numbers. I feel like food colouring is like almost exclusively E numbers.
I mean, Dev, I just want to interject there and say that if someone's drinking alcohol, they're already doing drugs. Don't want to sound like a square.
Red wine's an antioxidant. If you have,
it's also a drug. It's got alcohol in it, my friend.
Yeah, but like anything, if you abuse it, you might have a problem and perhaps you need to talk to somebody. But 1 or 2 glasses of wine a day, I think's all right. In fact, you know what? Everyone listening right now, do it, okay? Yeah. And if someone dies and kills over...
Don't do it. Don't do it, no.
Wait, can I just say...
If your partner kills over and dies, it's a really painful death, and as they're dying, they're gurgling out the words, why? You can tell them, Nick Bright told me it'll be fucking hilarious.
Hang on, wait. I didn't say do it. I just told you about it. I think the words "do it" came out of Dev's mouth, not mine. In a court of law, it would be Dev who's going to jail.
You know, I'm so not a big prank person as well. You know, there's like compilations online of couples pranking each other, and honestly, the first time if my girl pranked me, I'd be like, haha, very good. I've got a prank for you. I'm leaving.
We're over. Yeah. It's funny how the podcast it's called How to Kill an Hour, and like we've essentially just murdered a few people. It's like I feel bad that you've your last moments on Earth were listening to us talk shite about food colouring that's going to kill you.
I like it. It's like a sort of, who was the name of was it David Koresh? You know, the guy who made all of his followers drink Kool-Aid and they did like a sort of mass suicide thing. It's quite poetic. You know, for all the listeners of this podcast, all drank red food colouring.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the very least, bruv, you'd be infamous.
There's plenty of ways to kill some time. Thank you for killing yourself with us.
Oh, all right. Well, I would end it on that, but just one more before we get out of here. I think I really would like your opinion on this, because I think Nick Bright is an ex-fast food professional eater.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm partial to the Golden Arches.
I'm not an
still.
ex. Hang on, let me. I just got to again correct you. I don't want people to think I'm some like health food junkie. I just gave up McDonald's.
I love the way you say it as well. Like, it was so brave. He's like, actually gave up eating McDonald's a few years ago. Yeah, just sort of decided wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. So it's
6 years clean. 6 years clean, baby. The last McDonald's.
Smell my fingers. Go on.
The last McDonald's I had was during One Extra Live in Manchester. I remember it. Remember it fondly.
Oh, the glint in your eye there. That was the good old days, isn't it?
I may have had a milkshake since then from McDonald's, but everything. I've never had any food.
All right. Well, this might interest you then. The quest for lab-grown meat is extending to the staple of the fast food scene, right? The Verge has reported that KFC has teamed up with Moscow's 3D bioprinting solutions with the goal of producing the world's first lab-made chicken nuggets. That's right. The Russian firm is developing an additive printing technique using chicken cells and plant material that ideally recreates the taste and texture of natural chicken whilst keeping the animal involvement to a minimum.
So it's not even like zero animals. It's like a minimum. You might as well just have normal fucking chicken nuggets. What is this?
I mean, there's definitely positives to be taken from this. If it means that chickens aren't bred in captivity, purposely pumped full of steroids to make them boneless and then smushed into a fine paste in order to make delicious chicken nuggets, that is a good thing. But doesn't it, something about even that phrase, a 3D printed chicken nugget, and this might be a bit of a hacky take on this, but I'm like, can we fucking cure cancer or something first? Can we do that? Can we like cure shit and like make sure that, how about, no, mind you saying that, I was going to say, can we cure world hunger? Maybe this will be it. Maybe you can show up in places that don't have much food with a 3D printer and a big vat of fucking plant cells or whatever it is and be like, nuggets for everyone.
Yeah, that'd be good. Do you know what? It is fucking mad that stories like this. Like, I tweeted this the other day. People banging on about eating healthy. You need to eat healthy, blah, blah. Someone fucking invent a salad that tastes like burgers. Like, why the hell are we like printing chicken nuggets? Yeah, I'm still having to eat a salad that don't taste like junk food. Invent a salad that tastes like pizza. Invent a salad that tastes like burgers, hot dogs. You know what I mean? All of that shit. But also, equally, I don't really eat like meat that much anyway, to be honest. You might as well just eat corn nuggets. That's what I do.
Yeah, fair.
What are they like compared to your conventional chicken nuggets?
For me, like, I think they're fine. I like corn nuggets, you know what I mean? I put corn in everything now, though. If I make a chili, I make it out of corn, like whatever. I'm not really that big on meat until I go like Five Guys or somewhere like that. Then I'm like, give me the burgers. But yeah.
Do you know what would be quite fun is to be the first person to try the nugget. I'd love to volunteer, and that way you could fuck with people. You can sort of be like, all right, here I go, guys. Gonna be the first one to try a 3D printed nugget. That's pretty good.
Give me the food colouring.
Nick's gonna come with his prank. If he put a whole bottle of food colouring in someone's bio-printed chicken nugget,
it'll make that shit green.
Blood for weeks. Apparently this is... Yeah, go on.
Does that mean potentially there would be a point where you could 3D print a person?
Honestly, I feel like I don't know too much about the world of 3D printing. I've just seen stuff, online. But I feel like people are just 3D printing everything now and anything. I've seen like 3D printed houses, 3D printed this. I'm like, where does this stop? Like,
but that I can get my head around, like a sort of thing made out of. But the nugget is weird because it's mixing together like living cells and plant cells together to. If they're not already doing it, it's happening soon where they're 3D printing people and they're not quite getting it right.
There's Family Guy where Stewie, there's like evil Stewie, and I don't know if you've seen it. Dev's looking a bit like, I ain't seen that. So,
that happens a lot where I come up with a good idea for something and people go like, I was in a car driving around Manchester with Radio 1 presenter Kel Spellman. I said to him, bruv, got a sick idea for a film, right? So keep it under your hat. Got this idea for a film where there's all these people, right, living together in this little city. What they don't know, they're actually clones, and they don't know that they're clones. And then somewhere else in another part of the world is the actual person. And when they need an organ or whatever, and then Kel's like, mate, have you heard of a film called Shutter Run? I'm like, shut up. So in my idea, right, one of the clones works out he's a clone and then translates like, yeah. Thing is, there is a film called Shutter Run. I'm like, shut up, Kel, for fuck's sake, I already have an idea. So look, that happens to me it was only until he showed me the IMDb page of Shutter Island and I read through the synopsis and I was like, the clones and that is exactly the same idea. You're like, now that I think about it,
I watched The Island yesterday. Actually,
I've seen it.
I watched
100%
it.
It's like shit. Back to the drawing board. I was going to be a millionaire off of that. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? KFC could be making some extra money out of this because they're saying that these labbed produced nuggets suggest it requires 100 times less farmland and cuts greenhouse emissions by 25 times.
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
And they're also said that the design might be ready by fall 2020.
But the thing is, where does the line get drawn? Is it still a chicken nugget? Or do they have to specify on the menu? Yeah, do they have to specify on the menu? Lab-grown nugget. Come and get your lab nuggets.
A labby nugget.
3D nugget sounds quite cool. You know,
even that though,
chicken. 3D nuggets.
That sounds like it's going to break your teeth, though. You know what I mean? Like a 3D nugget. Yeah, it sounds like you're going to eat it. My teeth for my best feature.
It sounds like a wrestler's finishing move. Oh my god, he's going for the 3D nugget. No, JR, no!
Oh my god, it's the 3D nugget.
3D nugget, no! Yeah, man. Well, I mean, look, for me, I don't know, personally, I kind of, how my chicken nuggets made, like Dev kind of alluded to it. They basically scrape the bones of chicken.
It's everything.
Probably a bit of cartilage,
it's
bit
everything.
of chicken. They mash it all
the
up.
Whole
just
chicken.
grind up what's left. They must take the nice bits off like the breast and the wings and sell those, but they grind everything else up though, right?
Yeah. And
it's like a little pink paste. Put it in a square, deep fry it, and it tastes delicious, man. A little splash of ketchup. But if they kind of move towards bioprinted meat and make it all plant-based chicken, I think I'm okay with it. And I think a lot of people would be, but it's that in-between point. Like, I'm just going to put it to you before we finish the show. Because my answer to this is yes. Would you eat the half plant, half chicken nugget, Dev?
Oh, certainly, man. I would say, though, that it does annoy me when these companies come out and they're like, guys, we've come up with a way that we're going to be able to reduce carbon. It's like, you're the ones who've been fucking up the atmosphere anyway. Like all these big car companies are just like tearing holes in the ozone layer, whatever. Like, guys, we've got the answer. We're going electric. It's like, we weren't really doing anything to like mess that up. So yeah, like, I hope you are sorting it out, kind of thing.
That's what I always think. When you're recycling your like tins of beans, and it's like you're washing them out, and you're like, I'm doing my bit here, and it's like you've got these big pharmaceutical chemical companies just pumping shit into the air. You're like, at least I'm doing my beans.
Mine is a drop in the fucking ocean, man. What am I doing?
I reused the bag today. Win.
Doing the middle bit of the toilet roll. Lovely.
I think we would do less damage than one car manufacturer if we just drove around every day throwing fucking bags for life out of the window. Like, Like, going around strangling turtles with our bare hands, like, fuck you, turtle. We would do
with
less
a bag for life.
How about you, Brighty?
I don't know, because I'm a bit funny about meat. My missus would tell you this about me if she was here. She hates it because she loves like steak and all of that shit, and I'm just not into it at all. I'd have to see the texture. I'd have to physically touch it and feel the texture before I think about eating it, because I'm a texture man. If something goes in my gob, it sounds a bit weird, but if something goes in my gob and the texture ain't right, I'm like, bleh, you know what I mean? Spitting it out.
Yeah, that's good. Let me see it first. Let me smell it, handle it, look at it in different lights first. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, inspect it.
What is a bad texture food? Like, what's a texture of food where you're like,
mushrooms? Mushrooms are just the worst.
What, fresh or cooked? Just that's two different.
They're just rubbery shite, mate. They're just not the one. Also, like fat on like, I don't eat bacon, but like, you know, fat on meat. When you get like the chewy bit, nah, man, and it goes in your mouth. It's all like,
I love that.
It's all like slimy and chewy. Yeah. Nah, man, that is just fat.
I'd buy it if they just sold a bag of it at a chicken shop. Like, here's some like salted meat fat. I'd fucking buy that, man. Always
oysters also terrible.
Disgusting, like a mouthful of seawater. I always thought dried apricots used to freak me out as a kid because it's like eating your own tongue. It's like what I would imagine biting into your own tongue would sort of feel like the consistency and texture.
You can actually eat tongue though. I've seen it in cans. Like, is it ox tongue? You can buy it in the supermarket in a can. Yeah. I'm like, it's bad enough if it was fresh in a packet. You're trying to serve it to me in a fucking can. It's like when you go to the supermarket, and you see that full English breakfast in a can, or a
Christmas dinner,
or a Frey Bentoast pie in a can. I'm like, why are you putting this shit in a can? Stuff that shouldn't be in a can.
Well, like, the quicker we start 3D printing nuggets and we move away from putting breakfast meats in cans, like, the better. Like, maybe it is going to be a good thing.
Right.
And that is where we'll end today's show.
Fair.
I think that's a great way to end it. I understand we've all got to get out of here, man. But yeah, if you want to let everyone know where they can find you guys, that'd be amazing.
You can get me on I'll just do Insta because it's easier, at Nick Bright. Just my name on Insta. No ones, no underscores, none of that shit. Just Nick Bright.
I'm Dev on Instagram. No, you can't buy my fucking username. No, you can't buy my fucking username. And there's one more other thing. Oh yeah, no, you can't buy my fucking username. All right, I'm not selling it.
You managed to get that though, because you used to be Dev 101, and you must have pulled some strings, got someone kicked out. Yeah, so did I.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not selling my username because I have any sort of integrity. I'm not selling it because a friend of mine organized it so that I could get the handle Dev, and it would be incredibly disrespectful towards him if I did that. But don't get me wrong. If that wasn't the case, if I was just the first person to sign up as Dev, I would quite happily sell it.
Does this person's name start with an S?
It certainly does.
Yeah, that's the person who sorted me out as well. Yeah. Booted someone out who had Nick Bright, who weren't using it, got binned off and gave it to me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Big up S.
All right.
Big up S.
Big up man like S.
You know who you are. Hang on, you're saying he's a man now. Calm down. You're revealing too much.
Or am I? Yeah, I am. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm at Marcus Bronzy on all social medias, and at How to Kill an Hour is where you can find everything that we do here. Plenty of ways to kill some time out there. Thank you for killing some time with us.
Hey guy, before you run off and go somewhere else, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Adobe Stock Audio, who are all about empowering those who create wherever they are and whatever their circumstances. Did you know that? I know. It's constantly a new chance to learn things, right? And as the importance of creative solutions has arguably reached an all-time high, updates like Adobe Stock Audio are going to improve remote collaboration for creativity. It's seamless integration of stock content within Adobe's video editing software. Adobe's Premiere Pro, as well as collaboration with two amazing sound agencies. There's your boys from Epidemic Sound and Jamendo, or they make for a powerful setup for any type of creator. So stop running around looking for all the sounds and bits and pieces that you need. Save yourself a bunch of time searching for some great stock content so you can have more time on important stuff. Stuff like being creative or perhaps picking out a new hat. Check out Adobe Stock Audio.